Bitcoin has come into a key vital area where we are expecting a reversal. I called this on my channel multiple times, and we are in a key significant area where we can reverse absolutely at any point in any time right now and bolster from here onwards. I've been calling this multiple times on my channel over and over again that we are not in a bear market just yet. Now, what I can see in the markets right now is that we are ready to blow. The market has ticked loads of key levels where we are likely going to reverse. Now, on the 12-month time frame, we've just struck a key area. We've taken out previous year's lows. That is an absolute key area where we've tapped into, and I'm expecting reversals from around this area. On the monthly time frame, we've finally taken out this low down here. This low we've been anticipating for a very, very long time. I said to you, if the market does collapse from these regions, the areas I'm looking at are around 80K and 74 to 75K. That's exactly where we are at right now. So there's not bad position for a long if you want to take a long from these areas down here. Weekly time frame. Last week we had an aggressive close outside of this range. I said to you that this is known as your accumulation. What we are currently in right now is your manipulation phase. Based on how we can close this week, we may come out from this manipulation into the distribution, or we may just chop around for a couple of weeks and then move to the upside. But for me, things are looking very, very good, and I am very, very bullish in the market. Now, I just want to get into the point about everyone calling a bear market, because when we were around these regions, I was shouting and screaming that we are ready to drop, and no one believed me. When we had that drop to the downside, everyone said, wow, you were right. And what I'm trying to get at down here is around this region, the drop was 35%. Around this region, the drop was 32%. Now, from these all-time highs to where we are now, we're at a 40% drop. So it's not far away from a 35 and a 32%. When we were down here, no one was calling for a bear market. When we were down here, no one was calling for a bear market. And we were at all-time highs at this point, also at this point. So when we've come into this area here, all of a sudden, everyone is calling for a bear market. And I'm not sure why people are screaming and shouting that we are in a bear market right now, because we are not. So just coming back onto BTC, what I'm expecting right now on BTC, we've swept the lows. There is a possibility that we can come slightly lower into this region down here. I don't think it's going to happen around the 65, 66K. Now, if we come into those regions, this is your signal to buy. I mean, this is already your signal to buy. If we come into these regions down here, I've already positioned around 80% of my portfolio on spots. If we come slightly lower, I will go all in at this point. So just keep that in mind. From a leverage position perspective, let's go on the daily time frame. So we can remove these areas down here. This is your accumulation. This is your manipulation. Honestly, I would take a position from these regions right now. I got in a position earlier when we had this move to the downside on Saturday, and I got in around the regions of 76K. My stop loss is at 72K. So if you want to take an entry from these areas, please do so. But this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and you would likely lose all of your money. From these lows down here, given that we've taken out this low down here and we've taken out the lows down here of last year's lows, this is a good sign for us. This is a very, very good sign, minus the fact that we may get a slight move to the downside around that region, but I don't think we'll come into that region. Now, from the upside targets, the first target that I'm looking at is for price to come back into, if we can confirm this is a new low that's going to be created, we can put on these fibs from here. And honestly, my first target would be around the regions of 88K. Coming onto the daily time frame, we can then mark on the new dealing range. Given that this will be a confirmed low, we can just look for the midpoint around 85K. That's my first target I'm looking at. However, the position that I've taken for the long right now is a swing position, and I will be looking at least around 100K, if not all-time highs on BTC. So this is a good sign to be very, very bullish right now. Now, coming on to Ethereum, we've tapped into the region of 2.1K. Go watch my previous videos. I've been talking about that region for a very, very long time, and we finally tapped into it. We also have this market maker sell model where you have the initial consolidation down here. Here's your buy side, here's your sell side. We've tapped into the lows down here. So this is a good sign. Let's have a look at if we've actually taken out the lows down here. The lows down here of 2113 and this is 2108. So we have taken out the lows, which is a good sign. This could be the turning point down here. So I am very, very bullish right now. Even if we do come slightly lower, I am still very, very bullish. Now, just on the upside targets, temporarily short-term upside target, I'm looking at the regions of just taking out these highs or coming back at least into this accumulation phase where we will probably look at around the regions of 3K. Once we start moving up from here, I will tell you guys what my targets are, but I'm looking around the regions between 8 to 10K on Ethereum. Now, last but not least, just one thing I want to talk to you about, because everyone keeps calling the bear market, but what does this look like to you right now? If we are in a bear market, then the alts are already been in a bear market for a very, very long time. So even if we are in a bear market, how much lower can we actually go? And that's why you can see I've got my lowest price buy around these regions. But even if we come lower from here, how much lower can we actually go? We can take out these all-time lows down here. But these are the areas where you should be buying. You shouldn't be selling. You should not be afraid. You should be buying the coins that I've spoken about in this channel many, many times before. The more lower we go, the more convinced I am that we are going to blow at any point. And I do feel like over the next 1 to 2 months, something big is going to happen in the market and we need to be prepared. So make sure you have positioned yourself correctly in the market. Now, drop your comments on what your thoughts are on the sentiment. Let me know what you think. What is your sentiment and where do you think we are currently in the market right now? I'll respond back to your messages and I'll see you in the next video. If you like these types of videos, consider subscribing, drop a like, and I'll see you in the next video.